Harihi Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Shri Soundarya Lahari, explanation of verse 91. Padanyasa Krida Parichaya Vivarabdhu Manasaha Skhalantaste Khelam Bhavanakala Hamsa Najahati Atastesham Shiksham Subhaga Mani Manjira Ranita Chalada Chakshanam Charana Kamalam Charu Charite. Verse 91 describes the beautiful gait of Ambigai. Let us look at the Padacheda and then a short explanation. Padanyasa Krida Parichayam Iva Arabdhu Manasaha Skhalantaha Te Khelam Bhavana Kalahamsaha Na Jahati Ataha Tesham Shiksham Subhaga Mani Manjira Ranita Chalat Achakshanam Charana Kamalam Charu Charite. Padanyasa Krida Parichayam Iva Arabdhu Manasaha. Padanyasa, the placement of the steps. Krida, the sport of walking. Parichayam, the practice. Iva, perhaps similar to. Arabdhu Manasaha, with the mind of commencing. Skhalantaha te khelam bhavana kala hamsaha na jahati. Skhalantaha te, they try to and they trip. Khelam, in a playful mode. Bhavana kala hamsaha, the resident swans. Na jahati, they do not abandon. Ataha tesham shiksham subhaga mani manjira ranita. Ataha tesham, therefore, of theirs. Siksham, the instruction that is given. Subhaga, in an auspicious manner. Mani manjira ranita, the jingling of the gem-studded anklet. Chalat achakshanam charana kamalam charu charite. Chalat, under the pretext of achakshanam, they teach how to walk. Charana kamalam, the lotus feet. Charu charite, O the one who has a beautiful life. O Ambike, the one who has a beautiful life, the resident swans with a mind to commence the practice of the sport of placement of steps, gait. When they do try, they trip, yet they do not abandon this. Therefore, for their instruction, the auspicious gem-studded anklet of your lotus feet, under the pretext of jingling, perhaps indirectly teach them. O Ambike, the one with a holy and beautiful life, the swan birds in your house follow you without any break, as if to learn your gait, which is like a celestial play. Your lotus-like feet taking recourse to the musical sound produced by gems in your anklets appear to teach them what they want, which is learning of your gait. The pace and grace of Ambikai's steps are slow yet steady. Usually, a gait of a divine woman or a royal woman is compared to that of a swan. Here, on contrary, Adi Shankara Bhagavad Padal describes that swans learn their gait from Ambikai. Ambikai's enthralling gait attract the household swans, frolicking as though practicing the balancing of steps without discarding Ambikai's lotus feet. The tinkling of Ambikai's anklets, which are studded with gems, are like mild sounds which indicate the Rahasya mantra of gait. Devi, as your feet are teaching groups of royal swans about the celestial steps, your golden feet anklets are teaching the pace and grace of the gait to the swans simultaneously too. May we greet the lotus feet of Devi, which teach the grand style to royal swans, which, like the celestial Kalpavriksha, keeps on showering boons to the utterly poor and the miserable, and which again destroys the Ajnana Timira, or the darkness of ignorance, and provide celestial awareness. Devi here teaches the swans to imitate the symmetry of soft and swinging sounds of our own golden anklets. The corresponding namas from Lalita Sahasranamam: Sinjana Mani Manjeera Mandita Shri Padambuja, she who has ankles with tinkling anklets. Marali Mandagamana, she who has the gait like that of a swan. This shloka can be chanted to obtain land and wealth. Thus concludes the explanation of verse 91 of Sri Soundarya Lahari. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Harihi Om Tatsat. Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Jai Jai Shankara. Hara Hara Shankara. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Sri Soundarya Lahari. Explanation of verse 92. Gataste Manchatvam Druhina Hari Rudreshwara Bhritaha Shiva Swachachaya Ghatita Kapata Prachada Pataha Tvadiyanam Bhasam Pratiphala Naraga Runataya Shariri Shringaro Rasa Iva Drisham Dogdhi Kutukam. Verse 92 describes the Shiva Shakti Swarupam of Ambigai. Let us look at the Padacheda and then the explanation. Gataha te manchatvam druhina hari rudra ishvara bhritaha shivaha swachachaya ghatita kapata prachada pataha Tvadiyanam bhasam pratiphalana raga arunataya shariri shringaraha rasa iva drisham dogdhi kutukam. Gataha te manchatvam druhina hari rudra ishvara bhritaha. Gataha have become te manchatvam, your bed. Druhina hari rudra ishvara, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra and Maheshwara. Bhritaha, the ones who serve you, worship you. Shivaha swachachaya ghatita kapata prachada pataha. Shivaha, Sadashiva Tattva, the subtlest of the 25 categories representing Shiva and Shakti in the evolved state. Swachachaya, the white lustre. Ghatita kapata prachada pataha, made of the coverlet or the spread which is disguised as. Tvadiyanam bhasam pratiphalana raga arunataya. Tvadiyanam, of your bhasam, the lustre, pratiphalana raga, due to the reflection of the color, arunataya, the red color, shariri shringaraha rasa iva drisham dogdhi kutukam. Shariri, embodied, shringaraha rasa iva, like the sentiment of love, drisham, for your eyes, dogdhi kutukam, that yields joy. Your worshippers, people who serve you, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Ishvara, have become the legs of your bed. Paramashiva, disguised as the spread made of white lustre, by the reflection of the red color of your lustre, seems like the sentiment of love embodied and yields joy to your eyes. O Ambike, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Ishvara, who are the gods who rule the world, become the four legs of your cot. So they are able to serve you always by staying near you. Sadashiva, who is white in color, becomes the bedspread on which you are seated. But he appears red because he reflects your red color. And to your eyes, which are the personification of the feelings of love, he gives a lot of happiness. Trimurtis, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, and along with Ishana, have constituted the legs of your cot, while Sadashiva is like your comfortable bedsheet that covers and converts your Aruna Sharira, which is reflecting on Parameshwara's white body, thus leading to mutual Shringara Rasa between you two. Shiva, with his imaginary bedsheet of transparent whiteness, has decorated the bed. Eventually, the radius of that whiteness got reflected as Shringara Rasa, or the radiance of redness, which is reflected from your body. All the parts of Ambika's body, all the waves of the ocean of the beauty that she is, have been described by Adi Shankara Bhagavad Padar in words that confer her blessings on us. Now, Shankara Bhagavad Padar deals with the seat which is graced by her entire presence. He speaks of the radiance of red color emanating together from her body parts. Lalita Sahasranama states, Udyadbhanu Sahasrabha Chaturbahu Samanvita, and then describes Ambigai from Kesham to Padam, thus painting a portrait of Ambigai's body from hair on her head to her feet, and then describes the lustre of her body as a whole. The throne of Ambikai is made of 4 Panchakrityas, and the 5th serves the purpose of the actual seat, indeed as an astonishing throne. As Rajarajeshwari is seated, the impact of the glory of the red lustre of Devi transforms the white complexioned Shiva too. The color of Shringara is red, so to the eye of Amba, Shiva looks like the personification of that rasa or bhava. Thus, there is an integrated view of poetry, metaphysics, and the theory of light here. While Shiva is a supreme yogi, Ambigai is an embodiment of desire. To eradicate desire, one has to reach to Kamakshi for refuge. Red stands for power, potency, and action. White stands for the state of universal absorption or tranquility. Apart from the aspect of Shringara, there is also the redness of compassion. Shringara is caused since it becomes necessary to create the world and to look upon the world so created with compassion. What first emerged in a non-dualistic Brahman is the wish of evincing love. It is because there must be people to be loved that the world was created. What is separated from the whiteness of tranquility is the love that is red. When Shiva and Shakti are partners of love, there is creation, which leads to compassion for creatures. The redness of compassion must make our minds mature, ripen them, and impart redness to them. The corresponding namas from Lalita Sahasranamam: Pancha Sanasina, resting on 5 lifeless forms, here indicating the legs of the cot, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Ishvara, and Sadashiva, who themselves are lifeless without Shakti. Pancha Brahma Swarupini, she who has the body comprised by 5 Brahmas. Pancha Preta Manchadhishayini, she who reclines on a couch or cot made of 5 lifeless deities. They are considered lifeless without Shakti. Pancha Brahma Sanasthita, she who sits on a seat formed by the 5 Brahmas: Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Ishana, and Sadashiva. This shloka can be chanted to obtain the ability to rule and enjoy royal luxuries. Thus concludes the explanation of verse 92 of Sri Soundarya Lahari. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Harihi Om Tatsat. Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Jai Jai
Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Sri Soundarya Lahari. Explanation of verse 93. Arala Kesheshu Prakriti Sarala Manda Hasite Shiri Shabha Chitte Drishadupala Shobha Kuchatate Bhrisham Tanvi Madhye Prithururasi Jaroha Vishaye Jagatratum Shambhoho Jayati Karuna Kachidaruna. Verse 93 describes Ambikai as an ocean of compassion. Let us look at the Padacheda and then a short explanation. Arala Kesheshu Prakriti Sarala Manda Hasite Shirisha Abha Chitte Drishat Upala Shobha कुच तटे भृशं तन्वी मध्ये पृथु उरसिज आरोह विषये जगत् त्रातुं शम्भोः जयति करुणा काचित् अरुणा अराला केशेषु प्रकृति सरला मंद हसिते arala, the curliness, kesheshu in Ambigai's hair, prakriti, which is natural, sarala mandahasite, the straightforward, bright and gentle smile, mandahasite, shirisha abha chitte drishadupala shobha kuchatate, shirisha abha, as delicate as the shirisha flower which blooms in the forest, chitte, the mind, drishadupala shobha, the lustre of the gem in a hard rock, kuchatate, in the slope of Ambigai's bosoms, brisham tanvi madhye prithu urasija aroha vishaye, brisham, that which is excessive, tanvi madhye, the slenderness in the waist, prithu, and that which is wide, urasija aroha vishaye, in the matter of Ambigai's bosom and the hip, jagat tratum shambhoho jayati karuna kachit aruna, jagat tratum, in order to protect the world, shambhoho, of Shiva, jayati, that which excels, karuna, the compassion, kachit aruna, the indescribable, aruna, the red form of Shakti. The indescribable compassion of Shambhu, called Aruna, in order to protect the world, excels in curliness in the hair, natural beauty in the gentle smile, and the mind which is as delicate as Shirisha flower, and the slope of the bosom which is like the lustre of a gem in a hard rock, the excessive slenderness in the waist, and the wideness in the matter of bosom and Ambigai's hip. The minds and words of Lord Shiva is forever victorious in the form of Aruna, so as to protect the world. That spirit of compassion is in the form of the curves of your hair, in the form of natural sweetness in your smile, in the form of pretty tenderness of a flower in your mind, the firmness of a gemstone in your breast, in the form of thin creeper in your hip, and the vastness in your breast and the back portion of your hip. Devi, Mahalavanya Shevadi, you are renowned by far more than 1,000 names of glory such as Sri Aruna, Kameshwari, Karuna Swarupini, and so on, possessing long and attracting curly hair, natural and graceful smile, slender waist, soft heart, and hard breasts. Being in the sacred presence of Paramashiva, you are ever kind to save and smoothen the worldly affairs. Ever smiling, cool-visioned, full-breasted Kamakshi, do save us with your graceful profile and ever-springing kindness. Adi Shakti is manifested with long, curly, and attractive long hair, with natural smile, soft nature, supple mind like Shirisha flowers, hard and shapely breasts and bottom, slim and trim waist. Indeed, Bhagavati is of Aruna Taruna Karuna Raksha Dharini. The redness of Shringara and Karuna of the previous verse is stated as an expression of string of beautiful words. Jagat, the world, Tratum, to protect, Shambho of Shiva, who is still, Karuna, which is compassion, Kachit, which is beyond description, Aruna, to become Amba, who is red, Jayati, that which triumphs or shines victoriously. It is to bless the world for its well-being that Shivam, who is white and tranquil, becomes the power of compassion, that is Amba, who is red and keeps going around the world in triumphant glory. In this particular verse, we see Shiva and Shakti as one, the non-dual entity. The corresponding namas from Lalita Sahasranamam: Arunaruna Kausumbha Vastra Bhasvat Katitati, a bright waist wrapped in a red garment. Rakta Varna, she who has a blood red complexion. Swabhava Madhura, she who is sweet by nature. Darahaso Jwalanmukhi, she who has a face lit by her gentle smile. Mandasmita Prabhapura Majjat Kamesha Manasa, she who captivates Kameshwara's mind with her beautiful smile. Lakshyaroma Lata Dharata Samunneya Madhyama, she who has a slim waist which is comparable to the creeper like hairline. Kameshwara Premaratna Mani Prati Panastani, she who has the bosoms that can be given only in exchange for the love of Kameshwara. Neela Chikura, she who has dark locks of hair. Karuna Rasa Sagara, she who is an ocean of compassion. Sarvaruna, everything about her which is red in color. This shloka can be chanted for the fulfillment of all the desires. Thus concludes the explanation of verse 93 of Sri Soundarya Lahari. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Harihi Om Tatsat. Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Jai Jai Shankara. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Sri Soundarya Lahari. Explanation of verse 94. Kalankah Kasturi Rajanikara Bimbam Jalamayam Kalabih Karpuraihi Marakata Karandam Nibiditam Atastvad Bhogena Pratidina Midam Rikta Kuharam Vidhir Bhuyo Bhuyo Nibidayati Noonam Tavakrite. Verse 94 describes the various fragrant items that are used by Ambigai every day. Let us look at the Padacheda and then a short explanation. Kalankaha Kasturi Rajanikara Bimbam Jalamayam Kalabhihi Karpuraihi Marakata Karandam Nibiditam Ataha Tvat Bhogena Pratidinam Idam Rikta Kuharam Vidhihi Bhuyaha Bhuyaha Nibidayati Noonam Tava Krite. Kalankaha Kasturi Rajanikara Bimbam Jalamayam. Kalankaha, the stain on the face of the moon. Kasturi is musk or the musk deer-shaped stain on the face of the moon. Rajanikara Bimbam, the orb of the moon. Jalamayam, which is full of water. Kala Bhihi Karpuraihi Marakata Karandam Nibiditam. Kalabhihi Karpuraihi, with the rays of the moon as camphor. Marakata Karandam, an emerald container. Nibiditam, that which is filled. Ataha Tvat Bhogena Pratidinam Idam Rikta Kuharam. Ataha, therefore, Tvat Bhogena, because of your utilization, Pratidinam Idam, every day, this Rikta Kuharam becomes an empty container. Therefore, Vidhihi Bhuyaha Bhuyaha Nibidayati Noonam Tavakrite. Vidhihi, Lord Brahma, Bhuyaha Bhuyaha, again and again, Nibidayati Noonam, indeed fills, Tavakrite, for your sake. The orb of the moon is the emerald container full of water filled with bits of camphor, and the stain is the musk. The empty hollow of the container, by virtue of your utilization every day, is indeed filled again and again by Brahmadeva for you to utilize. The moon that we know is Ambigai's jewel box filled with water of incense. The blackness we see in the moon, the musk which is put for the use in that box, and the crescent we see of the moon is the canister of emerald. full of divine camphor. And for sure, Brahma, the creator, refills these daily after your use so that they are always full. Bhagavati, the tilaka or the streak of musk on the forehead is likened to a smudge on Chandra. The black spot on the moon is Kasturi, the substance in the Marakatamani container with which you refresh from are the camphor like sprays of cool water from full moon. Chaturmukha Brahma ensures refilling the container daily for your beauty care. The moon, a vessel filled with fragrance, is for the beautification of Ambigai that Acharya describes here. It is customary to offer the wife a cup of rose water with musk, camphor, and other scents. Acharya expresses a novel idea that the moon is rose water cup meant as Ambigai's refreshener. As the moon waxes day by day and Brahma keeps replenishing the same. This metaphor is used as Brahma is ever pleased with Shiva Parvati's wedding and hence the temple festivals are Brahmotsavas. At the same time, Acharya seeks to emphasize that she is Chandrasekhari residing in Chandramandala. The corresponding namas from Lalita Sahasranamam: Mukha Chandra Kalankabha Mriganabhi Visheshaka, with Kasturi mark on her forehead like a spot on the moon. Charu Chandra Kaladhara, she who has the crescent moon that adorns her head. Chandra Nibha, she who is brilliant like the moon. This shloka can be chanted for the fulfillment of all our desires. Thus concludes the explanation of verse 94 of Sri Soundarya Lahari. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Harihi Om Tatsat. Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Jai Jai Shankara. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Sri Soundarya Lahari. Explanation of verse 95. Purarate rantaf puramasi tatastvacharanyoho saparya maryada tarala karana nama sulabha tatha hyete nitaha शतमख मुखा सिद्धि मतुलाम तवद्वारो पान्तः स्थितिभिरणिमाद्याभिरमराः. Verse 95 describes how the control of senses is important in order to worship Ambigai and obtain her blessings. Let us look at the Padacheda and then a detailed explanation. Pura aratehe antah puram asi tatah tvat charanayoho saparya maryada tarala karananam asulabha tatha hi ete nitaha shatamakha mukhaha siddhim atulam tava dwaropantah sthitibhihi anima adyabhihi amaraha. Pura aratehe antaf puram asi tatah tvat charanayoho. Pura aratehe, the enemy of the cities of demons, Lord Parameshwara. Antaf puram asi, you are in the inner apartments, which is specified for the consort. Tatah, therefore, tvat charanayoho, of your 2 feet, saparya maryada tarala karananam asulabha. Tvat charanayoho, of your 2 feet, saparya maryada, the rules of propriety in worship. Tarala karananam, those who have fickle senses, senses that are not controlled. Asulabha, it is not easy. Tatha hi ete nitaha shatamakha mukhaha siddhim atulam. Tatha hi ete, thus surely these nitaha, take away, shatamakha mukhaha, those with shatamaka, Indra as the chief, siddhim atulam, the matchless supreme powers. Tava dwaropantaha sthiti bhihi anima adya bhihi. Tava dwaropantaha, in the proximity to your door. Sthiti bihi, those who are stationed. Anima adya bihi, Anima and others, the 8 superhuman powers or siddhis personified as goddesses Amaraha, the celestials, who have not mastered their senses. You are in the inner apartments of Shiva. Therefore, the rules of propriety in worship of your 2 feet is not easy for those with fickle, uncontrolled senses. Thus, surely these celestials with Shatamaka, Lord Indra as the chief, are forbidden from entering the inner apartments. They take away only the matchless superhuman powers of Anima and other siddhis who are stationed in the proximity to your door. O Ambike, you are the leading light of the home of Lord Shiva, who destroyed the 3 cities, and hence coming near you and worshipping your feet are not for those with weak, uncontrolled mind. And that is why perhaps Indra and the other gods stay outside your gates and they only obtain the blessings of siddhis like Anima. Kanchi Mahaperiyava states that, O Ambige, you are the Nayaki, the heroine of our Antapura in the inner apartment of Lord Shiva. However, it is wrong to imagine her on flesh and blood form, but think of her in controlled senses. The right way of performing puja to her feet is easy only for those whose senses are controlled. Once the puja is performed properly, they get the blessings of incomparable siddhis. Acharya uses the term Atulam Siddhim with irony, mockingly. He warns that one must not be ensured by the siddhis. Siddhis are granted by the gatekeepers of Navavarana who are far, far away from Ambige. In other words, Acharya, by implication, exhorts us not to be misled by siddhis. In the past, there were great men called true siddhas compared to some majority of them who are charlatans. True siddhis are those who have controlled their senses and do not perform feats for selfish purposes. If they perform miracles, it is out of compassion and to help the suffering people. Finally, Acharya reiterates his warning in respect of Sri Chakra Puja gently, reinforcing that the yantra worship should be performed with complete inward discipline. The corresponding namas from Lalita Sahasranamam: Shri Maharagni, she who is the ruler of the entire creation. Mahakamesha Mahishi, she who is the queen of Kamesha, Paramashiva. Thus concludes the explanation of verse 95 of Sri Soundarya Lahari. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Jai Jai Shankara. Har Har Shankara.